Did you record? All right. Cool. Well, thank you guys for sharing. It's always awesome to come to this call. Expecting the unexpected. Okay, expecting the unexpected. So I normally really don't have like an agenda, but something actually came through me this afternoon and I wanted to share it with you. So does everybody have a journal or something to write with? I see Shelly does. If you have something to write with, I prefer writing versus putting it in your phone because our phone is just all encompassing of our lives. We want to write things down so we can see it, so we can flip through the pages, so we can, make changes, all that. Okay, I want you guys to write this phrase down. And I know all of you have heard this at some time in your life. And I'm going to teach you tonight how to move through what most of humanity struggles with, and maybe even you. Okay, so when I read you this sentence, you guys are going to write this down. Okay, so I want you to write it down. I want you to look at it, and then we're going to figure out collectively how to manipulate energy in a good way so that we can move through this, because this has come across all of you. And if you are a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a parent, if you are a human being, you have battled in many cases or have dealt with this. Okay, so the phrase is this: people do more to avoid pain. People do more to avoid pain than to obtain pleasure. People do more to avoid pain than to obtain pleasure. Let me give you an example what that means. As a hypnotherapist, I've worked with many people, and one of my clients had a weird situation, kind of like an OCD thing. And she literally would drive, even she lived near a cemetery. She would drive 3.5 miles, even though she was only a block away from the cemetery. She would drive 3.5 miles out of her way to get to her house versus just cutting the corner and going to her house. She did more to avoid the pain that she felt than she did to obtain pleasure, right? She didn't want to feel any pain, so she went way out of her way to make sure that she didn't feel any pain. And my guess is, as you've navigated through your business, as you've navigated through your life, as you've navigated through friendships and relationships and career changes, there are many of you that have gone way out of your way to avoid the pain, like, in other words, have the conversation, right? So you go so far out of your way that the conversation you should have had with your child or your significant other, a decade has passed. A decade, a week has passed, a month has passed. You go so far out of the way to not make the phone call in your business to have the conversation with someone than to go straight to it and just receive the pleasure from it. And so tonight, I want to talk about that because some people call, oh, I'm fearful of that, and all that crap, right? That, to me, that's just blah. It doesn't make any sense. So tonight we're going to talk about why we do this and what's the best way to start to begin to chip away at this feeling, because it is a frequency. It is a feeling of, I don't want to deal with it right now. I'm going to put it off till later. I don't want to confront that person. I don't want to make that decision right now. And so we do more to avoid it because we don't want to, we start putting together what potentially is going to happen. We have all this energy, all of this head games going back and forth for something that seems so simple. Just take a right, go past the cemetery, don't even look at it, and go straight into your house. Save gas money, save everybody the headache on what's going on, save you getting stuck in traffic, right? Just do it. And so doing some work, we were able to help this person actually just do it. And when she did it, she realized it wasn't that bad. So when we avoid the pain, or what we think could be the pain, you guys, you're setting yourself up for a lot of discomfort. Let's just call it that. I don't want to use the word disappointment. I don't want to use the word frustration. I just want to just use the word discomfort. Discomfort. You're setting yourself up for discomfort. Now, would you rather have comfort in your life or discomfort? A lot of people are gluttons for punishment. They want to, oh, I just want to be beat down all the time. I know that's not you guys, right? There comes a time in your life you go, enough is enough. And all I want to do now is get through it. I want to move through it. So in order to avoid the pain or what you think, and we've been talking about this, all the head stuff that goes on in here, all the things that, all the he said, she said, the gossip, the tapes, the references, all of these things are filed away in this file cabinet up here. If we play in this space, you guys, discomfort is going to happen. Doubt is going to happen. Frustration is going to happen. Anxiety is going to happen. Stress is going to happen. Okay. So what we have to do is understand that our mind has a role, and the role of your mind is to take all the information that you have been experienced to from the time that you were preconceived, actually, right? They've actually done studies that inside when you're just an embryo, the things that that mother does during that period of time as that baby is growing, right? At preconception, even. Imagine the anger that's happening with someone, I don't want to have a child, and all of a sudden that you can have, you're pregnant, right? So all of that they've discovered can actually be part of that child's DNA. So if we know this, and we know that our brains are been sponges our whole life, latching on to everything, then we have to know that it is merely it's a hard drive. Let's just look at our brain as a hard drive. Okay. So all we have to do once in a while is we have to go in and defragment that hard drive. We have to rearrange things. We have to put things in the trash and then remove the trash. We have to do that. We do it with our computers. Our computers get slow and we're like, oh, okay, let's go get it fixed. I'll buy a new one. Well, why don't we do that with our lives? So if you're coming into a place where you're dealing with this whole idea that you're avoiding the conversation, you're avoiding the feeling of, making a lot of money in your business because you don't feel like you're worthy. You guys, you have to understand this is just a reference or a tape that needs to be deleted from your hard drive. And it's very easy to do when you have a smile on your face. And you guys are always, those who've been following me, those that know me, know that I always have a smile on my face. Why is that? Because I want this dopamine, oxytocin, all these endorphins that happen subconsciously, internally. I want all of that to overrun all the other stuff. So, for example, Smiles, was saying today that she noticed that during this week, people were coming up to her, people were hugging her, people want to talk to her because I know Smiles. I know she's always got a smile on her face. She's always in a growth environment. She's always looking and observing to make herself better. And in doing so, look what happens in her world, right? So now she could pull all the tapes from her past. She could pull all the doubt and dysfunction and everything that we all have in our past, you guys, including myself. I probably have more of that than all of you combined. And that's why I wrote a book about my life, because I got a lot of it. But with that being said, I have figured out what the role of this is. The role of this is to take in information, take in data, and then I can decide what I want to keep and what I don't want to keep. So, for example, let's say I'm doing more to avoid the pain of having a conversation with my wife, okay, which for whatever reason, let's say I've been holding on to it. There's something she did, 22 years ago when we got together that I'm still hanging on to, right? Which, by the way, she never did. She's actually an angel, but let's just say it was, okay? Or maybe think of yourself as I'm saying this. And let's say I did more to avoid having that conversation. All of a sudden, 22 years later, now it comes up. And I speak my truth. And now this little tiny thing that's been gone for so long, all of a sudden turns into this explosion. Well, you never told me that. And why didn't you tell me before? And blah, 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 all this stuff. You guys, we've all been in conversations like that. So what I want you to do is when you feel, okay, not when you think, when you feel like you want to avoid something, okay? So you have your brain is going, don't talk to Shelly because Shelly's busy. She's got this going on. She already makes enough money. She's already healthy. She's blah, 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 blah. Don't listen to that, okay? Because that you're going to do more to avoid the pleasure. And the pleasure is connecting with Shelly, connecting with someone. That the pleasure is you coming from this place and having a regular conversation to see where it leads and just sharing some goodness with her. And if the time is right, then that person will latch onto it, or how that person responds to what you're sharing, that is their stuff. Okay. That's their stuff that they have to deal with. So we have talked about coming from your heart. If my intention is to come from my heart and be truthful, and instead of avoiding the pain, to go straight to what I feel in my heart, straight to that conversation, you guys, how that person responds on the other end, that's their stuff. Okay. So I want you to know, recognize that you probably are avoiding things in your life that could be very potentially pleasurable, but because you have thought about it and analyzed it and dissected it, you think, not feel, you think that whatever is going to happen is probably not going to have the outcome that you want, which tells me you're a freaking fortune teller, right? That which tells me that you can predict the future. And you guys know as well as I know, if I start predicting the future, I'm going to be disappointed, because most of the time I'm having an expectation on something, and then most of the time I'm going to be disappointed. If I live in my past, I'm going to be disappointed or frustrated or let down or whatever. So all I can do is focus in on right now. So how you move through the uncomfortableness or the discomfort that you are thinking is you put a smile on your face and you just take a step forward and you just do. And once you do it one time, and that result is completely different than all the mumbo jumbo and the he said, she said, and the trauma and the buildup and the plaque that's up in there and the monkey mind and all that. Once you do it one time, you go, geez, that wasn't that bad, right? And this is how you build the muscle of connecting here with the intention. So when I was working with this lady who would drive 3.5 miles out of the way because she did not want to have that feeling or that thought that she had of all the dead people in there because she had lost people in her family, I just said, look, those people have led a wonderful life in many cases. So see that and see yourself getting home and doing that wonderful thing you've been wanting to do all day a lot quicker. And she shifted into like, yeah, that makes sense. Instead of sitting in traffic, which was more frustrating, and hopefully she hit all the lights right, and hopefully there wasn't an accident, all this weird stuff that she was programming in her mind, right? It's like, nope, I'm just gonna do it, put a smile on my face, I'm just gonna go home, and I'm not even gonna think about it. I just want to feel that feeling of walking in my front door and just knowing that I made it home safely, right? So for you guys, ask yourself right now, and this will be your exercise for the week. There is something that you have been avoiding. There's some dialogue that you've been avoiding because of the pain that you are associating with that, because you are, let's say, a fortune teller. You're predicting an outcome that hasn't even happened yet. That's why fear is such a silly, 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 silly word, because unless you're in a burning house and you're trying to save your kids or something like that, that's very fearful. But if you're just fearful to pick up the phone to talk to somebody, that's years of programming, years of tapes that need to be trashed, that need to be thrown away. And you get to decide to do it or not. No one else, just you. I can tell you to do it, but you have to physically do it. So what is that thing? Just pick one thing, you guys. Just one. Don't go, oh my gosh, I got 17 pages of crap that I got to deal with. There's one. There's one thing. And it's a conversation. It's something that you've got to knock out. And it could be something you've been putting off. Okay. There's one thing that's just been weighing on you, that's been causing that word discomfort, whatever that feels like to you. What I want you to do is get to that one thing. I want you to look at that one thing. I want you to put a smile on your face and ask your heart, how am I going to move through this one thing right here? And your heart's going to go, oh God, just pick up the phone and call them. Hey, oh no, get rid of it. Throw it away. You don't need it anymore. Your heart, you'll know. Okay. So that's why it's very important that you smile. So the drip of dopamine and oxytocin, which is the love hormone, drips down into all your goodness. And only good things happen when you check in here. Your heart will never, ever, 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 ever disappoint you. Will it be broken? Well, that's a head thing. It's not a heart thing. Your heart will never be broken. Okay. That's a head thing. That's a head thought, feeling, fear, reference from something. Oh man, Dave broke my heart. Cindy broke my heart. Well, no, your heart, it broke your spirit, your mind, maybe, but it didn't break your heart. So your heart will always know what's best for you if you get in and check in with it when you make a decision. So whatever that thing is that you are avoiding, avoiding, okay, that you're doing more of to avoid pain, that's one thing I want you to go after right now. And I want you to close your eyes, put your hand on your heart and go, okay, heart, what is the best way you feel? Don't say the word think. If you say the word think, boom, you're topside. You're topside again, immediately. As soon as you say the word think, you're back topside. And now your brains can go, oh, hold on, Tony, hold on a second. Look, you had the conversation 8 years ago. Nothing happened. I wouldn't even have it right now. Don't even do. What else you got? What's the next thing you got? No. So we're going to feel our way, and we're going to put our hand on our heart. We're going to smile with love and go, okay, what is the best way to feel the most pleasure with this situation? Oh God, just throw it away. Oh, done. Okay, I'm going to throw it away. Put it in the trash. It's done. Oh, I'm going to have the conversation. Fine, have the conversation. It's done. Okay. But you're coming from a place in a different loving frequency, not the head game. Hey, can I talk to you about something? Okay, remember that time you all that crap? And now you're back in that frequency again, and you're back in that headspace. Your heart doesn't want to have things linger on that don't need to be lingered. That's why when I have conversations with people, my conversations are generally short. It's not because I don't care. It's not because I don't love, but I'm doing for me, I'm avoiding the pain because I want to get to the pleasure. I want to get to the helping. I want to help give you the gift that you might be looking for. I don't need to hear the backstories and all that doesn't matter. I want to know what's going on. I want to listen. I want to put a smile on my face. I'm going to give you what you need to hear. Okay. So your homework this week, if you so choose, because you guys have the power of choice, is that one thing. And then once you get good at that, okay, again, we're not going to think about it. You know what the thing is, and you know what to do, and your heart knows what to do. And you've been so close, potentially handling it before, but something happened. You got back in your head. And again, your heart will always protect you if you live and you are navigated by your heart. It will always let you know when something's off. It will always let you know what to do, what to say. It'll always let you know when you walk into a room and it's not right to leave. It will always do that for you. Okay? And I've seen people battle themselves. They walk into a room, they know it's bad, but their head goes, oh, come on, let's just stay anyway. Let's just have some fun. Let's just party or whatever. And they stay and something bad happens. Okay? So you have to operate from this space, and this space is nothing but pleasure. This space is nothing but sabotage, frustration, disappointment, trauma, memories, references. Okay, there's good references here. There's good stuff. Okay. So those are the ones you want to call upon if you're in your head. Hey, remember that time when you scored that winning bucket when you were playing basketball, Tony? What did that feel like? Remember that time? What did that feel like? I can sit there and go, oh, I remember it. I remember exactly where I shot it. I remember exactly the feeling. I know exactly when it left my hand, what happened. I knew exactly that feeling of everybody embracing me when it went in. Like I can remember that feeling. Okay. Not really thoughts. It was a feeling that I'm recalling. And so the more you get good at recalling the feeling and remember the feeling and navigating through the feeling and handling things with a feeling, not a thought, you guys, this life is so beautiful and it's so easy. And I want it to be easy for you. So your homework for this week is to that thing. Smile on the face, love in your heart, hand on your chest, beat it if you need to. Go, okay. All right, heart. Whew, okay, I feel you. What is the best way that will bring me the most pleasure with this thing, whatever this thing is? And just stop for a second, just feel it. Don't think about it, just feel it. And it's going to go, just take it off your desk, put a smile on your face, and trash it. Pick up the phone, love in your heart, smile on your face, and have a heart to heart conversation. Not head to heart, not heart to head, but a heart-to-heart conversation. Hey, Grace, I just want you to know that I love you, and I'm speaking from my heart because there was something you did 22 years ago that for whatever reason, I don't even know why I never brought it up, but I want to bring it up now, and I just want to make peace with it and be all good. Blah, 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 blah. Okay? You left my sock that you wore out on the kitchen table, and it just upset. I don't know. I don't even know. Okay. Just you guys, I'm telling you, we make this life so freaking difficult. We, no one else. We create our life. We live in this life, and all of you have a different life. So if that's the truth, all of us have our own reality. You've heard me talk about this. You are all living in your own dimension, in your own timeline, in your own whatever you want to call it. All of your lives are different than every single other person that you know. And every person in your life is a teacher, and everything that you have in your life is something that you've manifested. And everything that's about to happen to you, you guys have a choice on what that is. Period. So we need to start tapping into that. And that all comes from here. It comes from our center, it comes from our soul, it comes from our chi, our prana. It comes from way within. Okay. And when you figure this out, you will never have a bad day at the office. You never, ever will have a bad day at the office. And that's what I wish for all of you is to get this, to use this, put it in practice every single day, because I'm telling you, this life is a gift that you get to open up every moment of the day, every moment of the day. And in that, you get to learn every moment of the day. And in that, you get to grow in every moment of the day until you get what's happening to you. This one thing that's holding you back right now, you move through that, watch what happens. Watch all the new dimension or the new place you step into because of doing that. You can look back and go, geez, why was I even holding on to that? Why didn't I handle that before? You weren't ready before. You're ready now. Okay. So can I get everybody's commitment that you will figure out from here what that is for you that's holding you back, what's causing you to do more to avoid pain than to obtain pleasure, and hit that thing straight with the heart, straight with the heart. And watch, you guys, I'm telling you, you're going to laugh at this like, oh my gosh, like, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? What was I thinking? I know what you were thinking. You were thinking. And I don't want you to think. I want you to flow. And your heart will allow you to flow through all the bumps and the obstacles and the things that are in the way. Your heart will allow you to do that. Your head won't. Your head will go, oh, that sounds familiar. That looks familiar. That tastes familiar. Here's how we're going to handle it. The same way we've always done it. Because you were safe. Because you were secure. And no one got hurt. Well, the reality is you did. You got hurt because you didn't learn a lesson, you didn't move through it, and now you've just built up some plaque in your system. Okay. You build up some stuff into your system. It's not allowing you to become the best version of self. And I want you to clean out that system. I want you to detox and flush it all out. And you do that by hitting the stuff head on, going after obtaining pleasure. The pleasure is, hey, I dealt with it and I moved on, and how that person responds, that's their stuff. Hey, the pleasure is, wow, I just discovered something amazing about myself that I freaking am massive. I can overcome anything. The pleasure is seeing yourself now have a health transformation because you're not holding on to anxiety and stress and pain and discomfort, all that stuff. You guys, I'm telling you, on the other side of what you're thinking is Blissville, USA. Okay. I'm telling you that. How do I know that? Because I've been in the darkest of darks, the lowest of lows, and at different times in my life. And something inside me said, Tony, follow your heart, learn something. And now here I am later in life getting to teach all these things that at the time were kind of like heavy or uncomfortable. Okay. So their homework, if you so choose, pick it, smile on the face, love in your heart, and ask your heart, not your head, because your head will put everything in perspective. We'll make everything just kind of fit in all the pieces. Oh, don't, no, 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 no. Just, hey, listen, you can go another day without saying something. Hey, you can go another month without getting rid of that thing that's in your garage. Hey, you can go, hey, listen, that person's probably going to be dead in a week. So it doesn't really matter if you talk to him or not. No, guys, don't do that. Okay. Don't do that. Make sure that you're good. And by you doing your part, how that person or how that thing or how that event responds, that's their lesson, not yours. You did your part. Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording right here, you guys. I know I went kind of heavy there, but hold on one second.